Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit duluthnewstribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Thursday, January 19th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now, here's a look at today's headlines. Currently, Duluth tells developers how much parking they must provide, but those parking minimums could become a relic of the past if proposed changes to city code are adopted. City Councilor Noah Hobbs suggested that by doing away with those regulations, Duluth can make itself a more desirable site for new development. Hobbs noted that other cities have been moving to eliminate such rules. Many of the city's parking requirements seem to be based on the assumption that every household owns 1 or 2 vehicles, and that's simply not the case, said Andrea Kraus, a community development manager for Zeitgeist. She noted that more than 1/3 of households in Duluth's Hillside neighborhood lack access to a personal vehicle, and citywide, about 11% of households are without an automobile, according to Minnesota Compass. It has been more than a decade since Duluth last considered major revisions to its parking policies. Hobbs suggested that right-sizing parking capacity could free up more space for, quote, higher, more productive uses, end quote, of land that could build the city's tax base. There are already parts of the city that have been exempted from parking minimums, namely downtown Duluth and Canal Park. The proposed ordinance changes also increased accommodations for bicycles, as future developers would be expected to provide bike parking equivalent to 5% of motorized vehicle parking. For residential developments, the city would call for bike parking capacity at a rate of 1 space for every 5 dwelling units. The proposal is slated to go before the Duluth Planning Commission on February 14th, with a public hearing scheduled before it can take any action. If passed, it will then go to the Duluth City Council for consideration, with the ordinance change receiving 2 public readings before the council could act, likely bringing the matter to a vote in March. A plan to ensure all Minnesota students have access to free breakfast and lunch at school is already moving through the legislature as Democratic farmer labor lawmakers and the governor work toward a budget they say will prioritize education and families in the state. Bills in the House and Senate would require schools in the federal school meals program to provide free lunch and breakfast to all students. About 1/3 of Minnesota's more than 800,000 public school students qualify for free or reduced price lunches, according to Department of Education estimates. The Hunger Free Schools Coalition estimates 1 in 6 Minnesota children don't have consistent access to nutritious food. It's still hard to say exactly how much universal free lunches would cost Minnesota, though past estimates have placed the cost at about $185 million each year. Governor Tim Walz in his education budget proposal released Tuesday called for a total of around $813 million for the program in the next 4 years. And now for a preview of an upcoming story, here's Dan Williamson with a special guest.
Thanks, Wyatt. I'm joined by one of our colleagues, Duluth News Tribune features reporter Melinda Levine. Melinda, you have a story that we'll be able to see in Friday's e-edition, as well as online prior at duluthnewstribune.com. And this story actually took you on the road. You traveled to the Twin Cities where you had a chance to see a very unique performance space / Airbnb. Explain.
Yes, so last week, digital producer Wyatt Buckner and I headed south to step inside Minnesota's most wish-listed Airbnb. Inside this space that they call the Wolf House, there are murals on the walls and ceilings, pebbles and shells, and trinkets glued to the stairs, the cabinets, large stones embedded into the floors, and of course, called the Wolf House, there's a huge wolf painted on the garage, wolf statues, cement statues on the outside, and wolf memorabilia all along the inside. More than a work of art or a rental, the Wolf House / Bella Luna Studios is a Minneapolis performance and event space that hosts artists such as Duluth-born Venus DeMars and Twin Cities songwriter Jeremy Messersmith.
Well, Melinda, what was your biggest takeaway from this story?
My biggest takeaway from this story was just being able to walk into this beautiful handcrafted space. Like, you could tell that every stone, every shell, every pebble, every like door, window, like everything was so carefully curated and handcrafted, hand glued. It is like a living work of art. And with that, comes like how delicate like living art can be. The Wolf House owner, Annette Skibout, had this to say.
I've hosted so many events here where I instruct people, anyone who's here, that we do this collective howl of everyone. And so we hear whoever's in the house at the same time and that's experiencing this event, whatever it happens to be, a poetry reading or a house concert. Yeah, it's just the house has such great energy. Yeah, I do start every event with a howl.
Would you be willing to howl for us?
I would absolutely be willing to howl. Ow, ow, ow!
That is great. Melinda, what do you hope our audience takes away from this story?
I hope our audience can just have fun stepping into a really cool space. The wonder of this space is palpable, and I feel like readers will be able to feel that and experience that through our video, through our photos, through our words. It's just a really cool spot. So even if folks aren't like renting it, there are going to be performances there that people can experience this really cool Minnesota-made, very special space.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Melinda, for your time. Again, this is a story you can find in Friday's e-edition, as well as online prior at duluthnewstribune.com. Wyatt, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the Women Today 6th Annual Rosie Awards.
Weather for the Duluth area today, snow with windy conditions. Temperatures also falling throughout the day. We'll be looking at blowing and drifting snow as well. Going into tonight, the snow tapers off, temperatures dropping into the mid-teens. Quieter conditions for Friday, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low to mid-20s, upper 20s for Saturday. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to the Rosie Awards for their support. Northland women are a driving force in our community. They are advocates, mentors, volunteers, and leaders. Nominate a special woman you think deserves to be recognized at thewomantoday.com or by email at dearrosie@thewomantoday.com. Nominations are now open and continue through January 31st. Reporting for today's episode was done by Peter Passy and Alex DeRozier. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.